Ati is a Mahakavya. And when we think of India, of course, we remember the two great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. When we think of epics, we think of huge voluminous book. We think of hundreds of stories. We think of great characters occupying the space there. We think of gods and goddesses and maybe demons too. We think of wars and battles. We think of the entire gamut of human experience. But as students of English literature, I'm sure you've also heard of Homer's Iliad. You've heard of Virgil's Aeneid. When we talk about the epics of European literature, these are the names that come to mind. But I want to take you to the pre-Chaucerian era, where we have what is called the first existing epic in the English language, and the name of the book is Beowulf. A little difficult for you to remember and even pronounce, but then it is an ancient epic. What we're going to look at now very quickly is the difference between the epic and the romance. An epic is a huge work. An epic has solidity. An epic has weight. There are many characters who inhabit the world of the epic. What happens in a romance? We take one single character and some events in his life. When they are described, we call that a romance. Let us think of the Trojan War. Let us think of Homer's Iliad. One of the characters, very interesting characters, is Ulysses, called Odysseus, called Ulysses. And then you have his adventures. We talk about the sirens. We talk about Scylla and Charybdis. We talk about all his experiences. And these could give rise to romances. In one of the universities, we have the medieval romance as part of the syllabus. And there, we talk about the medieval romances of England. You know, one of the great characters of romance in English literature is Arthur. You must have heard of King Arthur and the Round Table. You must have heard of knights. Remember, my dear students, when I'm talking of knight, I'm talking of knight spelt with a capital K. And one interesting book that is prescribed for you, you don't have to read the book. You must only know about the book. And that is Gawain and the Green Knight. An interesting story of Gawain. And what happens? Knights ride out in their horses. And they go out and fight battles, probably to save damsels in distress. Do have a look at this entry in your Oxford Guide or Cambridge Guide, and you will understand what the story is, Gawain and the Green Knight. Go back to your books, my dear students, and look at these essays again in a new light. I'm sure the points that you've been noting in the course of this lecture will make it easier for you to understand, for you to look at the points that have been raised in these essays. Difficult though the essays may seem initially, I think they are a challenging entry for you, first year students, into the wonderful world of English literature. And I'm sure the 3 years that you're going to be with literature, with English language and English literature, is going to be a fruitful and meaningful experience for all of you. Take it in your stride and see what Eagleton and Carr have done for you in your understanding of literature, of literary history, of historian and its facts, and then in very, very short terms, what I've tried to tell you about the medieval romance in England. I hope you've enjoyed this lecture as much as I have in bringing it across to you. And your appreciation of literature will grow from day to day. Thank you very much.